Hello, good afternoon. I'm so excited I'm after lunch. Do you ever get the feeling when you run customer success, you get put like right before lunch or right before drinks and happy hour, and you never know if anyone's paying attention. So hopefully you guys are ready to go after lunch. So today we're gonna talk a little bit about accelerating the impact of customer success. So many of us know technology is really important and the adoption of technology is important, but there's a human aspect of it. And so we're gonna talk a little bit about that. So we just said, how many of you have heard of Slack? How many of you use Slack? All right, it's great. I love being in the coast. We have great usage. If we were in the Midwest, we have to still work on that a little bit. But Slack is a messaging platform where we connect people, tools, and content in a centralized place that is searchable and mobile. And our mission is to ensure that we're making people's working lives simpler, more pleasant, and more productive. So how is this mission going? It's going pretty well. As of ending the year in 2017, we had over 6 million daily active users. We get stickiness with our customers. 55% of our users are outside of the United States, so we're international, we're global. So it's going really well. So why do we need customer success at Slack? Let's step back to the summer of 2015. Slack was just a year old, and there were over 1 million daily active users. So everyone said, this is great. We don't need customer success. We don't need sales. Our product's amazing. Product sells itself. Our product adopts itself. Well, as we started getting all these customers, there were lots of questions. They were wanting to have a single face to them. And so we know that customers have long struggled to break down the silos and boost cross-functional collaboration, but the challenge is getting more acute. The speed of the market changes requires this greater adoption of products and services, and customers are increasingly expecting the organization to present them with a single face. And so changing behavior is difficult. It's hard. It requires a guide. It requires a helping hand. And so a year ago, I came on board to build customer success at Slack. And so our program is designed to help accelerate the adoption and the maturity of the Slack platform to affect the overall impact to the customer's business. So that's our mission. It's probably similar to many of your missions, but I'll talk a little bit about how we do that and how we incorporate that human element to customer success. So we started out a year ago and we said, all right, let's map out what our customer's journey looks like. Let's understand what are the activities that our successful customers are doing. And so we walked them through and we understood and we said, these are the different activities that affect our customers along the way. And we know it's not linear. All of our customers come at us in a different stage at different times. They need to do different things. They climb one mountain and then they've got the next mountain to go. And so it's important that we not only guide them through the journeys and understand what activities based on where they are in the journey, but that we also help them move through the maturity curve. And so I go back to that summer of 2015. Hey, great adoption. The company is a year old. There's over 1 million daily active users. But how do we get from that organic adoption so that our customers can get to a transformed state? And that takes time. And so we start and we say, all right, we take this great momentum of this organic usage and we say, how do we make you a little bit more mature? How do we activate you? That's kind of our first level we do. We say, all right, let's come up with some basic training policies. Let's aggregate some of the workflows and integrations. And then we move along further and we say, how do we really guide you? How do you come along with customer success with your journey here? How do we put in centers of excellence, or what we're going to talk about in a few minutes, champion networks? It's our Slack version of a center of excellence. And then we take them all the way through that stage to where they're fully transformed. They're using Slack through having an AI bot strategy. All departments are using Slack. They've got all the use cases using it, and they're using Slack as a competitive differentiator. And I'm sure you can apply this to many of the products that you're supporting as well. So what does customer success at Slack look like? We have customer success managers. So we have the expert advisors who provide that high-touch experience, who help drive the adoption. We have a champion network, which I'm going to talk about a little bit more in a few minutes. We know that users are wanting to be more empowered. They're wanting to take control of their usage of products. They're wanting their enterprise applications to look like and feel like what they do in a consumer world, but they need help with that. We also have self-paced success resources. It's important, we all know, in scale. Again, sometimes this next generation is saying, we want to access some of this stuff ourselves. How do we get to it? So we have these best practices guides that are built based on our experience of working with hundreds of Slack customers, of finding those activities that map to successful customers. And then for those customers that need that little extra boost, we have success services, and that's our consulting department. So we'll consult and deliver tailored employee experiences via paid offerings. So this probably looks somewhat similar to what many of your organizations look like. But I'm going to talk a little bit more about this champion network, because again, we feel that that human element, that human connection is what's so important. How do we empower? Because we know that to effectively change a habit, it requires several examples of trusted peers successfully using or recommending a new idea in a short period of time. And so one way we're doing this is this champion network. We are standing up champion networks within companies and within organizations, as well as across organizations. So we've got our most engaged admins and power users, and we're bringing them together. And this isn't just, you can casually be a champion. You have to be invited. It's a title that means something. You're empowered. You have to represent a Slack champion. We have peer-to-peer knowledge sharing to drive the maturity of the product use, in-product and in-person spaces to meet champions where they are, and we ultimately want to build that long-term advocacy. So we've had these meetups in different cities to enable these champions to workshop their ideas. We also inspire them and channel this for inter-company champion networks. So how do we get those companies to bring their champions together and bring their users and have those facilitated sessions? We sometimes call them Slack days, where we bring in those champions. We use our product. So one of the great things about Slack is we're able to use our product to encourage customer success and to drive this adoption and to encourage that facilitation of questions. So we've created a bot. We've got an automatic bot that we can pose. What are the common questions that are coming up? What are the common themes that other customers and champions are looking at? They're looking for those tips. Or they can go into channels and they can pose their own questions. So we're prompting it based on where we're seeing people in the journey. We're prompting it based on what are common themes we're hearing, and we're letting people have that forum to continually communicate. So we're really empowering those users. We're using our product to facilitate, and we're trying to do kind of bite-sized chunks here so that we're not overwhelming with kind of the heavy methodologies that we see in sometimes traditional enterprise software. So what does this mean? What does success look like for us? So of course it's about impacting our customers' business and ensuring that they're getting the business value from our tool. But internally, revenue. Annual recurring revenue is our true north. And I know that that can be controversial sometimes. There's that question, should revenue or should it just be adoption? But we believe revenue is really important, that we can drive that growth. So we know that if we drive adoption, if we drive customers along that maturity curve so that they're continually getting greater value from our product, that we are going to grow and we're going to have a major impact on growth. So customer success at Slack owns the growth number. We own the annual recurring revenue number. And we do that again through high-touch programs. We've got those high-touch customer success managers. We have scaled resources and tools. So we've got pooled resources, we've got self-service materials. We have bots that we can automate and put these small micro learnings in our app. We have the Champions Network that we facilitate and promote internally within their companies, as well as cross companies, so that we can facilitate those questions and those journeys so that they feel that they're really working with trusted peers. And we've got experts, so it's really important that we continually build expertise in our field around not just our product, but those human elements, how we drive change, how we change habits. So thank you for letting me talk today. I will be here for the rest of the afternoon, and I hope to look forward to chatting with many of you and hearing about your experience. And look forward to seeing many of you use Slack as well. All right, thank you.